everyone. Welcome to Unlock Creative Impact, Elevate Campaigns with Canva and Mailchimp Integration. I'm Michael Huang, a Senior Strategic Partnerships Manager at Intuit Mailchimp. I specialize in go-to-market strategies with a wide range of Mailchimp's technology partners, and also help ensure that we have strategic alignment with global technology partners. I've been working in technology partnerships and business development for over 15 years now, and I'm very excited to use the Skills Builder session to guide you through the newly updated Canva integration. Alongside me today is one of our solutions engineers, Justin.
Hello, I'm Justin Nygaard. As Michael said, I'm a solutions engineer at Intuit Mailchimp, and my focus is also on integrations with our partners like Canva. My specialty is working with the Mailchimp API, which allows me to create solutions that bring more of Mailchimp's customer data into the platform, where it can be segmented and turned into actionable insights for marketers. We're really proud of the features that will be introduced in this new integration and believe it will be a powerful tool for every Mailchimp user who uses Canva for design. Remember, you can always find great articles and resources in our Help Center to answer your questions about using any Mailchimp integration features or tools.
Thanks, Justin. Let's take a quick look at our agenda. We're going to start with a brief chat about how this upcoming Canva integration will help to alleviate some customer pain points and what makes it so powerful and exciting. Then we'll pass it over to Justin, who will take us through a pre-recorded demo showing the features in action from setup to implementation. Following the demo, our friend Michelle Faye, one of the talented product designers at Mailchimp, will stop by to share some tips and best practices for email design that you can use to elevate your holiday marketing. And we'll wrap up with the three of us together taking your live questions from the chat.
You can drop your questions into the Q&A tab throughout the presentation. We just like to state up front that by submitting a question as part of the Q&A, you're acknowledging and agreeing that your name will be visible to other participants and that you are providing this consent.
So why are we so excited to talk about this today? Well, Canva is one of the most popular tools among marketers. Many Mailchimp users also use Canva. In fact, it's among the top 10 most commonly used business apps by our users in the US, UK, Spain, and Brazil. But we saw that only a small percentage had integrated their accounts. With Canva being such an important tool for so many users, we wanted to make using it as easy as possible for all Mailchimp users. We also wanted to address some of the pain points that you've been living with and help you optimize your work streams.
That's exactly right. Think of the scenario, you or your team have created a fantastic design in Canva. It looks great, but when you import it to Mailchimp, something just is slightly off. The sizing doesn't fit your email, or maybe the colors don't match. So you switch back to Canva, make the edits, and re-import to Mailchimp. But every time this happens, you end up with more and more duplicate images, making it harder to find the correct image the next time you need it. One of the key driving forces behind creating this integration was to empower you with the features for asset management and syncing designs and brand kits to help save you time and increase your productivity.
And I think we've achieved that. Here are some reactions from one of our beta testers. That's why we're so excited to bring you this updated integration, with more functionality and quality of life improvements that can empower you to create and send visually appealing email campaigns.
We'll be launching this very exciting new Canva integration soon. The question is, how will it be different from the current integration? The first feature is auto-sync of your selected Canva images and files. This feature helps cut down on the need to switch back and forth between Canva and Mailchimp. So you can say goodbye to constantly exporting and uploading images one at a time. If you need something updated right away, you have the ability to manually sync your designs, so you can keep working without interruptions or delays. The other major improvement is an added shortcut in the email builder that lets you edit images directly within Canva. This feature simplifies the design process and makes it easier for you and your team to work efficiently and create high-quality designs.
Canva is just one of many tools you can integrate with Mailchimp to streamline your workflows. If you're not already familiar with setting up and using integrations, you can find more information in our Help Center. Now, as Justin mentioned, the updated Canva integration will launch soon. But to give you a taste of what it can do, he's going to take us through a short demo. After that, Michelle will be on hand to share some practical email design tips that you can use to elevate your holiday marketing. Take it away, Justin.
Thanks, Michael, and welcome everyone to our demo for the new Canva integration in Mailchimp. Since this product is still in development, some things may be a little different when the final version launches. But this demo will give you an idea of how easy it will be to connect your accounts and sync designs between Canva and Mailchimp. and how powerful a tool this can be for streamlining your design workflows. So let's begin. The first thing we're going to do in this demo is head to the Discovery page in our account. This is where you can find all the integrations that you can add to Mailchimp. If you don't see Canva here on the page, you can easily find it using the search bar. After selecting the Canva integration, you'll be asked to log in. On this screen, we'll enter the username and password for our existing Canva account, then click Continue. This will open a small window with information about the Canva integration for Mailchimp. After reading, click Allow. This will begin the connection process. A success screen will appear once your accounts are connected. You don't need to open Canva in another window or anything else. After your accounts are connected, you'll be able to access your recently shared Canva images directly from your Content Studio in Mailchimp. Now let's go to the dashboard and start syncing our designs. We can sync our designs using the Sync Designs option under Quick Actions. Since this is our first time, we will also have the introductory model. Clicking either will take you to your Content Studio where you can see the designs in your connected Canva account. Inside the Content Studio are thumbnails of our Canva designs. We can choose to sync all or some of them with Mailchimp. But for our purposes here today, we only need a handful of designs, so let's choose these. Now we click the Sync to Mailchimp button. After clicking Sync Now, your designs will sync with Mailchimp. A message will appear on the screen letting you know when the selected designs have been synced. Now the changes you make or that are made by your team to these designs in Canva will be reflected in Mailchimp. Syncs will occur automatically every 2 to 3 hours. If you're in the middle of a workstream to create new graphic designs for an email, you aren't planning on waiting a few hours for designs to sync with Mailchimp, and you don't have to. The manual sync feature will retrieve the latest versions of your designs so they're available in your Mailchimp account right away. For example, if a member of your team has just finished updating a design or created a new asset for an email you're working on, the manual sync will allow you to continue your workflow uninterrupted. From the Content Studio, you can add new designs to sync with your Mailchimp account at any time. All you need to do is select the new designs and click Sync to Mailchimp. And just like earlier, you still have the option to set all designs in your Canva account to sync with Mailchimp. Now that we've seen how to review and manage syncing, let's take a look at how this new integration works inside of the Mailchimp email builder. Here's an email we've been constructing in the email builder. In this example, we're building an email to welcome new subscribers. We have our messaging, headline, body, copy, and a CTA at the bottom. What we're missing is an exciting image to bring it all to life. Our Content Studio pops up and we see the designs that are set to sync with Mailchimp are marked with a green and white check mark. But for this email, we want to use a different design. Let's go with this one. After selecting it and clicking Insert, we're able to review the sync settings for this design. And in one swift motion, the design is placed into the email we're building and is now set to automatically sync to our Mailchimp account. Now, there's nothing wrong with this image, but maybe it can work harder for us. Like, what if it was a bit more exciting? Well, in the past, that would mean having to switch over to Canva so we can edit the image and then export it from Canva to finally upload it to Mailchimp where we can insert it into the email. Now we can simply click Edit in Canva and a new tab opens, allowing us to edit the image with the full suite of Canva tools. So let's make a few tweaks, like enhancing it by adding some visual elements. Once we have it the way we want, we click Return to Mailchimp. And just like that, our new image has been seamlessly incorporated into the email we're working on. We were able to do all that directly from Mailchimp's email builder, eliminating a bunch of middle steps. Well, our new image looks great, and the email is ready to go, so we click Save and Exit. And with the help of the new Canva integration for Mailchimp, we were able to do all of this with fewer steps and less back and forth. That's what makes this integration such a powerful time saver and gives you the power to streamline workflows and increase efficiency. So I hope you're as excited for this new integration to launch as we are. It will be coming soon.
Thanks, Justin. Now that we've gone through the Canva integration tool, we want to set you up for success by equipping you with some email design best practices that are proven to help your communications perform better. We're going to hand it off to Michelle Feige, a product designer at Mailchimp. Michelle, we'll see you at the Q&A.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here to talk about something that I love, email design. I really believe it can be the difference between just okay marketing and great marketing. And during the holiday season, there's a lot of competition for the attention of your customers, so it's the perfect time of year to up your game. In my role as a product designer at Mailchimp, I make sure the design of our products is straightforward and on brand and gives you the freedom to create what you need for your business. Okay, let's talk about why good email design is so important for your brand's communications. It's not just about making things look good, though we'll talk about that too. Design is a powerful tool to attract and retain customers. It can reinforce your brand and mission to make your communications instantly recognizable. Combine that with the powerful automation tools offered by Mailchimp, like personalizing emails, and you've got a winning strategy. Whether you're hoping this holiday season will attract new customers or reinforce your brand identity, great design is always a key ingredient. Let's start with those easy-to-add elements that can elevate holiday marketing emails. Let's jump into the nitty-gritty of everyday best practices for email design. This is an easy-to-follow set of best practices that will help any marketer optimize their communications using Mailchimp tools. By using the same colors, fonts, and layouts across digital, social, and email communications, you strengthen brand recognition and create a seamless experience for your audience. Consistency is a key in helping your audience know what to expect, no matter how they interact with your content. For every email template, ask yourself the following questions. Why should a customer open it? Do they know it's from my company as soon as they open it? What's the main takeaway? What are we asking them to do? Design isn't the only factor to take into consideration when answering these questions. Your messaging has to do its fair share of the work too. However, design plays a role by attracting people to read your content and find out more information. From there, you can build a template that allows your content and design to work together to draw your audience in. Whether it's streamlining the user experience with less body copy and a clear CTA, or adding design elements like your logo, colors, you can save time and get your message across faster, using templates that align with your communications across platforms. There are no shortage of devices that your customers can receive email on, but no matter where they see your email, you want to make sure that it looks professional and high quality. Mailchimp allows for responsive design elements, meaning your emails will automatically shift and resize depending on the recipient's screen. In the design world, we call this designing with fluid grids, meaning Mailchimp allows you to lay out your emails to resize proportionally based on the screen size. Fluid grids are the most useful in this mobile-first world, since we know the majority of emails today are read on phone screens. So prioritizing a smaller screen and mobile environment are key to helping increase engagement. Mailchimp doesn't use fixed pixel values, so your content adapts to any device size, ensuring a user-friendly experience. Within the Mailchimp platform, different column sizes automatically change dimensions once they reach certain breakpoints, so you don't even have to think about it. But it is important to make sure photos are scalable and everything is readable across different email clients and screen sizes, including touch-friendly elements. And remember, you should always test that your communications are consistent and look good across all platforms before sending final versions out. Mailchimp's inbox preview feature is an easy way to do a last check to ensure email looks good across desktop, tablet, and mobile. Despite all of these tips and best practices, design, and email design especially, aren't set in stone. Email capabilities, design, and trends are always evolving, and so is your brand. So stay relevant with consumers and stand out from the competition. Don't be afraid to test new designs and approaches. One of the easiest ways to accomplish that is through A/B testing. Experimenting with different elements, subject lines, headlines, or CTAs can give you a better picture of what your audiences respond to and help you refine your emails to make them as effective as possible. You can do this in Mailchimp by sending one version of an email out to half of your subscribers and another version to the other half. Once you've done that, you can look at the results of each email. Maybe how many people responded or made a purchase using your CTA button. There's no magic formula. Whatever your testing criteria, A/B testing is an important and ongoing way of figuring out what works for your subscribers. These 4 tips are easy to accomplish in our email builder, especially once you have a template or 2 that you like. Be concise and clear. Brevity is the best way with your marketing communications. You can share more information on your website, but the email should be concise and to the point with a clear CTA. Remember to put the most important information in the body copy instead of a photo, and position it above the fold, or before you have to scroll. Having too many visual elements can decrease readability. Plus, photos are unsearchable. Best practice is to share important information in copy and enhance and contextualize with images and graphics. Use visual elements. A wall of body copy is too much for a casual read. Remember, our first point was that conciseness is key. Breaking up informational copy and a CTA with a GIF, video, or other graphics can be easier on the eyes and help to contextualize some of the information. Use bigger font sizes than you think you need. Think about how hard it is to read small copy on your phone. Maybe your recipient is walking and scrolling or watching TV while going through emails. Bigger fonts for important information will help catch the eye and make sure nothing is missed. Buttons are good. Buttons are an easy way to draw attention to get more click-throughs to your website. Use them when a CTA is needed. Every holiday season, your customers get a flood of email communications. Marketers are constantly trying to figure out how to stand out from the basic emails that get churned out using online email building tools. But by incorporating these 3 easy approaches into any design template, whether you've created it from scratch or replicated it from an online email builder, you can elevate your email design to make it more attractive for customers to engage with. Email design best practices absolutely inform success in marketing. You can use our email builder to dive into design trends that make the most sense for your brand and communications. Canva is also a great partner for both the aesthetics and the function of design, and I'm excited to also talk through some of their top templates to go even further with your holiday marketing. Approach number 1. Monochromatic and color blocking is making a comeback, especially for younger generations of customers. Experiment with bold colors, color blocking, and sans serif fonts to juxtapose the modern color schemes. Color can channel positivity, fun, and energy in a sea of neutrals. But bold and monochromatic doesn't mean you have to go off-brand. Take your hero brand color and use shades of it in your design to capitalize on this trend and create consistency across your communications that is so important for customers. Here's an example of the monochromatic style you can try. Approach number 2. Sometimes more isn't just more, it's too much. In email marketing, keeping it simple can be the catalyst of action and loyalty. Elements like a clear headline, isolated product, or atmospheric images, and focusing on micro interactions like a single CTA can really make a big difference. You can see in this example that a strong image, singular and concise headline, and clear CTA is not just simple, but really beautiful and impactful. This holiday season, think about investing in good photography or try a single new design element, like the new Mailchimp function that lets you add rounded corners in shapes and around text, to make a minimalist impact. Approach number 3. The last approach I want to illustrate is bold typography. This is one of the easiest ways to play with your creativity while still using a branded email template. We've seen a shift to using bold and creative headlines, having fun with copy, and giving more real estate to fun typography. These examples show just how elevated an email template can be by focusing on a headline. You can also use mobile font styles in Mailchimp to adjust headlines for smaller screens, giving you more flexibility when playing with different styles. Overall, this trend gives you a lot of bang for your buck and gets your brand message across faster with more style. As marketers, there are a lot of elements to consider every time we send out a communication, and design can sometimes inadvertently fall to the bottom. However, good design is essential to a good ROI for email communications. It can be fun and experimental. With these best practices as a guide and the power of the new Canva integration to streamline your workflows, you're on your way to creating high-quality holiday communications. And with that, Michael and Justin, why don't you join me over here for some Q&A with the audience. Your way over, you can start sharing questions in the Q&A tab in Goldcast. We're going to try to answer as many as we can. Just a reminder that by submitting a question as part of the Q&A, you're acknowledging and agreeing that your name will be visible to the other participants and that you're providing this consent.
Thanks, Michelle, for that incredible walkthrough of email design best practices. I think we all learned a lot of great tips for the holiday season. So now I think we're going to move to live Q&A, and here's our first question. So when is it more beneficial to use manual sync rather than auto sync? Justin?
Yeah, that's a great question. As you know, with the new integration that we're launching, we'll be able to sync all of your Canva designs over through the auto sync. But it might be more beneficial for you to sync manually if you're, like, say, in the middle of a work stream. Maybe you're designing your email campaign in Mailchimp and you want to update the image in Canva that you're going to be using for that marketing campaign. You can now, like, make the edits and then manually sync it straight into Mailchimp right away instead of waiting for that auto sync, which usually takes about 2 to 3 hours.
That's great. So lots of flexibility.
Yes, lots of flexibility.
Cool. Next question. So how will auto-syncing Canva designs with Mailchimp make my holiday campaign workflow more efficient? Michelle, if you can answer this one.
I think that actually might be gender towards me, so I'll go ahead and take that one too. Yeah, so the way that auto-syncing works, like I explained, is like at the very beginning when you're setting up the integration, you can select auto-sync, and that will sync all your Canva designs into Mailchimp, which then you can use those in Mailchimp for all your marketing campaigns. Previously with the integration, you had to import one at a time. And so that can be very time consuming. Say you have hundreds of designs that you are going to be using, you have to do that for each one. So now with our auto sync feature, it syncs all your Canva designs in, as soon as you set up the integration.
That's great. Okay, so this one is from Michelle.
Yeah.
What things would be good to A/B test before launching a holiday email campaign?
So I like to think that before, you have to win them over on subject lines. So before they've even seen your email that you've worked so hard on, I think trying to nail down what sort of subject lines are going to work for your demographic and your audience is a really great place to start. So you can start just by A/B testing different subject lines. An example would be whether it's using personalization, maybe that helps. Maybe posing certain subject lines as questions. Also, in the past, personally, I've tested, we wanted to see if adding an emoji would increase open rates, and it actually did. So in that scenario, and that was just our specific audience, it really depends on, what your audience is into, I guess.
Which emoji was it?
I don't remember. It might have been, I don't know if it was a happy face or sparkles.
Okay.
I don't know. It really depends.
Something light. And
yeah.
fun.
But for the email itself, the most important part is just testing one thing at a time, because you want to be able to really accurately measure what was affected, right? So maybe it's as simple as the verbiage you're using in the CTA or the location of a CTA. So having it above the fold or having it in at above and below at the bottom. Once they scroll to the bottom, you can see if you were getting clicks on that bottom CTA, especially with mobile devices, because things are going to stack. Right. So from that point, you might realize we need to include an extra CTA at the bottom, so they don't have to go all the way back up top. So those are just small things to, see what's going to work, and it's important to try and figure that out ahead of time.
Yeah, those are some great tips. Cool. Okay. Flip side, what are some common mistakes in holiday email design?
I personally think that this time of year, people are flooded with, tons of promotions, tons of sales, and if you want to stand out, you have to remember that, number one, you want to catch their attention. Once they're there, keep it simple, easy to digest, and remember, it's all about that click-through, right? So the website is where your website or wherever you're taking them, you can have all the information you want and include all your sale promotional information there, link out to all the different CTAs and possible places to go. But I think keeping it really simple is just key, and consolidating that CTA to the website and remembering your website is where all the information can live.
Cool. Keep it simple, keep it moving.
Yeah,
Love it.
Keep it short.
Okay. Next question. I don't see it up just yet. Here we go. Justin, I think this is for you. How does this update make integrating Canva and Mailchimp easier?
So previously you had to do it all inside Canva. Now you can find it very easily inside of Mailchimp. And once you start connecting the integration, like we have the auto sync feature, once you connect it, all your designs will start syncing over to Mailchimp, and that's all, and you're done. So then now, no more, manually updating one by one. Once you connect it, you're good to go.
Yeah, awesome. I've read a lot of user feedback about how annoying it's been, so this will be great.
Yeah.
Cool. This is a good one. Are there ways to use design to convey urgency in holiday emails, such as for limited time offers or flash sales?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to look at this. Language is going to be really the best place to communicate that, whether it's the headline indicating that 3 days only, being really clear about there's a time constraint here. So not burying it within body copy. Another fun thing you can do is adding like a countdown timer, which is a fun little animated GIF, however you want to say it. But yeah, adding those into just to indicate that there's a countdown happening, and there's lots of websites you can, throw them in. There's some free ones too, and a lot of free ones. And that's a really easy way to just indicate that it's time sensitive.
Yeah.
Also, I recommend if it's going to go on for a few days, it's really important to do a last chance email. So when you're at that 24-hour mark or even 12-hour mark, you can even send to people who didn't open it, the previous email, sending that last minute, 12 hours left, it indicates a sense of urgency and last chance moment to capture anyone who is maybe hesitating.
Yeah, cool. So some urgency, some pressure, but keep it fun.
Yeah, keep it fun, but just inform people.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool, thank you. Justin, is this integration available in the free and paid versions?
It is, yeah. So whether you're on a free version of Canva or a paid version, it is free to connect. Same with Mailchimp. If you're on a free or a paid version of a Mailchimp, you can connect this integration.
Great. So no matter what kind of user you are. Cool. This is one we expected. Are there any limitations for image sizes when I sync from Canva to Mailchimp?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like we get this a lot, right, when it comes to syncing images, but there is not. So whatever the image size is in Canva, it will sync over to Mailchimp. I believe in Canva, images can only be 25 megabytes or less, but whatever the size is in Canva, it will sync to Mailchimp as the same size.
Cool.
Can I also add in something? As someone, I've spent a decade doing email design prior to being a product designer at Mailchimp, and I think something that a lot of maybe like newer people to email design might, I don't know, not realize that file size is very important to email. So you want to make sure that your emails are going to load very quickly. You really have about 3 seconds to get someone's attention, and if someone in your audience happens to be on a subway on their way to work, and they're, just going through their emails in the morning or on their way home, and that email didn't load, they're going to bail. I mean, I do.
I'm guilty too. If something doesn't load, I'm like, okay, on to the next one.
Right. I know a ton of people who have their images also turned off, which is a whole other conversation about all image emails. We could talk about them maybe later.
Maybe we'll get
but file size is very, very important. So even though the system might let you upload a 25 megabyte image, that is an insane file to be sending, in an email. So really, you want to save those images as small without compromising the quality of the image. So I try to keep things under 100 kilobytes most of the time. It can get tricky with animated GIFs. That's where I give myself a bit of more leeway, but it is super important for deliverability as well, to keep those images small, as small as possible.
That's a great call out. Another image size question. So will the images be optimized in terms of file size when it comes over from Canva? So will it be sort of auto-compressed or?
That's a good question, and I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I do know that we are, like I said, syncing over the image file size from Canva into Mailchimp, the exact size it is. But I do know we have product engineering design in the Q&A chat as well, and I'm sure they are taking very good notes, and that we can, if it's not, look to enhance features of the integration.
Yeah, cool. Do you have a recommendation on what file size it should be? You said under 100.
Yeah,
kilobytes?
I mean, I try to keep it under 100 kilobytes. I mean, once you start getting close, I mean, I've even done like 200, but I mean, once you start getting anywhere remotely near a megabyte, you're in territory that's
playing with fire.
Yeah, you are, and if people aren't getting your email, then what was the point?
Yeah.
So it's important to factor in all of these considerations into email design, because when it comes to email design, it's not like a website where it's just a browser. It's going into a ton of ESPs, which is email service providers, so Gmail, Outlook, all of these different places, plus you have devices, plus you have different browsers. So it's an array of places that this email is going to show up, and they all kind of can vary a bit. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, I think would be a good one for you, Michelle.
Yeah.
With A/B tests, how many emails do you recommend to have for it to actually give a true result?
It's a really good question. I don't know if I have like an exact technical, answer for this. This could be a good one to follow up on, like with a blog or something about. But I think as long as a good place to start with just whatever your audience size is, I think a good place is just go 50-50 based off whatever you're testing. Even if your audience is 100 people, I mean, 50 people get this, 50 people get that. And it's a really good indication. And sometimes if your results are 50, if it's like 50%, 50-50, then you know that like either one it's an even sort of split. But I've done tests where you get an 80% difference, where you have a clear indication of what's working, what's not working, and a direction to go. And I think that's the bigger evidence that you're looking for. Those are the moments where you can really take that information and move forward.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's another one related to some of the loading issues with file sizes. So we hear incorporating text and images is bad because of loading issues. do either of you agree? Do you have best practices for text in images?
Yes, I am definitely guilty of doing this, but it's not good for accessibility. It's also, if images didn't load, they didn't see your message. So it's really important I'm all about live text, like love live text, and you can have fun with live text. You just have to, have good fun with letter spacing and size and scale. There's so much you can do. So it's about creating designs that are going to work with your images and live text. And also, when you go all images with text on everything on your images, it's also not great for deliverability. So having text-to-image ratio is really important. It increases deliverability. It also makes sending your next email easier. Because now you're not having to, maybe you just have to update an image on your template, and you don't need to go in and completely jump into Photoshop or Canva or Figma or whatever design software you're using, and completely make everything new. You can just swap out text really quickly, and it's a more efficient way to work also.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, Justin won't be reading any emails that take
if it takes too long to load, I'm on to the next one.
Justin will miss them. This is another one for you, Michelle. Do you have any B2B, so business-to-business specific design tips?
I think investing in photography is a solid way to spend your money when it comes to your marketing, especially with just trying for communication. I think it's a great way to grab attention, and I think keeping things simple, that's a good way. Also, so I've talked about it in the other part, but just having fun with color is a really great way to grab attention and stand out.
Yeah, cool. So we talked about, with emails, keep it simple, move people along, focus on your CTA. One question coming in is, any advice, what advice do you have when you have a lot of CTAs to include in one email? Should there be a limit on how many CTAs to include?
I once heard in a conference that someone reopening an email twice is an act of love.
Okay.
So, you're running a risk. The more CTAs you have, the more it depends. It is entirely dependent on the situation, but you start running a risk of too many options, overload. So that's why having a concise message, and maybe if it's a matter of you have a sale, but you're able to show that we're going to do, I don't know, say it was assembly, and you want to maybe quickly direct them to table lamps versus the floor lamps, or maybe you can categorize stuff, but that could be a good way to break things up if you wanted to have more. But ultimately, it's sort of all taking you to the same store, the same website. Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool. So I think that was our last question. Is that?
I don't know if I really fully answered it.
Yeah. So
maybe like one, but two.
Yeah.
Three of those.
Great. Cool. So thank you all for your participation. Those are all the questions we have time for today. We hope you're excited to try the new Canva integration when it launches, and hopefully you now feel empowered to utilize some of the design tips that Michelle shared in your holiday marketing campaigns. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, you can find the existing Canva integration in the Discover tab of your Mailchimp account.
Our new demo showed how quick and easy it is to set up and get started, but if you need additional instructions related to this integration or any other Mailchimp tools and features, you can find them in our Help Center.
And for more design tips or inspiration, I recommend you check out the Mailchimp marketing library at mailchimp.com/resources.
On behalf of Justin, Michelle, and myself, thank you for joining us here at Marketing Success Season. Before signing off, please be sure to fill out our quick 4-question survey. It really helps us understand how to make Marketing Success Season as useful to you as possible. Thank you again, and we wish you a successful holiday season.
All right, thank you, Michael, Justin, and Michelle. That session had a little bit of everything, huh? All right, some cool new technology to help optimize work streams, some lessons in design, and hopefully everyone is excited about putting them both to use. Now we've come to our last session of the day, and it's a very relevant and important panel conversation as we go into the upcoming holiday season, the science of customer loyalty. That's right, it's not all discounts and special offers. There's actual science to back up the why behind tactics that are effective in creating lasting connections. And you can leverage these key behavioral principles when communicating with your customer base. I couldn't think of a better session to close out day one of Marketing Success Season, so let's hand it over to Jim Rudel. He's head of EMEA at Intuit Mailchimp.